Okay, so I'm recording this on my cell phone, so my apologies if the audio isn't great or the camera isn't great, but I feel like this is something I need to get off my chest. And sorry, I do speak with my hands a lot because it's something that affects me and so many other people, and it frustrates me to no end that you can speak up on things and it basically falls on deaf ears. And the topic I'm trying my best to talk about is basically big corporations and their lack of empathy for the people who are the face of their company. And I'm going to draw from my own experiences because that's the best information I have. And there's a few things I want to tackle. So please forgive me if I kind of go off on a tangent or maybe I miss things. I'm kind of just doing this on the fly. Came to me as I was driving home from work because working tonight just kind of hit me, and with things that's happened in the past few months, I thought this was basically the best way to do it because sorry, let me start from the beginning, sort of. I currently work for Starbucks. Love it. I remember when my friend suggested to work for Starbucks, I was like, there's no way. Like, latte what? Macchiato? Like, you know what I mean? This is dumb. Like, people should just get coffee and call it a day. Like, I don't have time for steaming milk and pouring shots and like, not like because I'm above it, but I just thought my brain can't handle this, right? And I'm not trying to boast. I am a very quick learner. I haven't been with the company long, and the times that I've worked for other stores, or even worked in my stores, or if other partners have worked with me at my store, vice versa, they're basically amazed at how quickly I've caught on and the information I know and how I sequence my drinks and things like that. So that's just how I am as a person. So for some reason I didn't think I'd be able to catch on, and I did. Pretty quickly, within 2 months. They told me it would take about 6 months to a year to be comfortable in bar, and within 2 months I was like golden. Mind you, I also have a notebook. I took those flashcards home and I studied them like my life depended on it, because I have this weird thing in my brain where if I'm not the best that I know I can be, then I'm slowing my team down. And when I'm a part of a team and I'm passionate about it, like, I'm there, right? Like, I'm your girl. But basically, I didn't think I could manage the job. I got the job. Super exciting, super happy, because the moment I walked in, it just felt like a breath of fresh air to all the other jobs I've ever had. Like, I've been working for almost 10 years. Fast food, retail, home improvement. I've been a kitchen designer. I worked at KFC. I've worked at a number of different things. I've done different roles. I mean, but when it all comes down to it, I've worked for big corporations. You know what I mean? Companies that aren't mom and pop shops. And what I've noticed, I'm trying to find the right words because I don't really want to repeat myself, but what I've noticed is that these companies don't invest in the people that work for them. They don't invest in the right people. And they have this almost facade of caring about you by either giving you so-so benefits, not complaining. Benefits are, like, some benefits are still better than no benefits. Little perks like a percentage off this, or you get to take this for free, or discounts for places affiliated with us. Like, if you buy your glasses from this place, you can get this percentage off, and if you buy travel and like, just, random perks, which is great. But I mean, you can't use those perks if you're always working. Example, I worked a job where it was Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, basically an office type situation. Never worked weekends. Amazing. I thought it was going to be the greatest thing. Benefits, best benefits I've ever had. Consistency, awesome. Turns out, wasn't for me, wasn't a good job fit. And the amazing benefits I have, I couldn't use because I worked 9 to 5. So everywhere closed. Not a lot of places are open on the weekends. So it's like, okay, great. I have these amazing perks. I can't use them. Other things like Maybe I should have made notes, but I'm just trying to just kind of go with the flow. I feel like that's the best way to do things. Sorry, took a moment there to pause because my brain just stopped working because I did work a double today. So my brain's a little fried, but I really, really wanted to talk about this now because it was on my brain and I've never been so passionate about something. But anyways, like I said, these companies offer you things, incentives for you to stay with them. Great, fantastic. And then you work for them. You're, again, the face of their company. You're there day in, day out. And obviously they have targets, they have goals. The goal is to make money. I understand that. But at some point, like, it needs to stop. Or it needs to be reevaluated, like how much money we're really making, because I'm at the bottom of the pyramid. I understand that. So I get that my opinion doesn't really matter to most people because they're at another tier. But what really grinds my gears is when the people who basically make you money are coming to you saying, hey, this is what we need to do our jobs better, for our own mental health, for the store to run more efficiently, more effectively. And rather than take those seriously or take those pointers, it's like, yeah, sure. And then they walk away, say they're going to do something about it, and then they don't. And then they wonder why you get frustrated, why you have outbursts, why, your attitude shifts, why you don't want to do certain things. And it's like, you're not giving me the tools I need to do this job properly. And it's going to affect my job performance. It's going to affect the way I interact with customers. It's going to affect the way I interact with my staff, like my team, like my coworkers. Like, it just doesn't work. And when something isn't working, you should try to find a solution to fix it. Not bury it down, not say, oh, that's just how it's been done. Not say, oh, this is standard. This is, like, just because something's legal doesn't mean it's right. Just because something has been done that way for so many years doesn't mean it should continue to be done that way. And that frustrates me to no end. Another thing that grinds my gears is people who sit in these positions where they can do something about it and don't because it doesn't affect them. Like, how can you stand there and tell me that you yourself can't do the job I'm doing, or you're not even that great at the job I'm doing, and then continue to perpetuate these standards and status quos and push this and this and this and this to the point where people quit, people cry, people step down because you're tying their hands and making them the bad guy. And really, they're just trying to do right by their people. And that just, I don't understand. Like, I've had managers literally from any job, not just Starbucks. This isn't just about Starbucks. This is about big corporations in general who have never set foot on the floor or have literally done the job for 20 minutes a day, maybe a week. And I'm like, you've had people who've been doing this for 15 years. And the only reason they haven't quit is because at this point of their life, because of what minimum wage is, if they were to go anywhere else, they'd be starting at the bottom. So that doesn't make sense. And again, it's called minimum wage, not maximum wage. Like, these companies can do better, right? Like, I don't know who has to take a pay cut, but like, eventually somebody's gonna be making more money than they know what to do with. So like, give it to other people. Yeah, so you have these people who have been working in these companies for so long, they can't even step away because there's nothing better for them to go to. And you have people who are coming in who do fall in love with the company, fall in love with their mission values, their organization, the people that come to these places. Because, again, I'm pulling from Starbucks. I'm a really introverted person, and I typically don't like anybody. Like, it's just how it is. Charles Bukowski quote, it's basically saying, like, what do you think of people? And it's like, it's not that I don't like them. I just prefer when they're not around. Like, that's how I feel too. But this job did something for me. Like, it pulled me out of this really shitty position I was in my point in my life, where I didn't think I could connect with people. I just, I didn't want to go back to work, nothing. And I got this job, and like I said, I fell in love with the job itself. Love making drinks, love making them look good. Latte art, not my thing. Could work on that a bit more, but it was actually connecting with the regulars, like to the point where like I can list off their drinks off the top of their heads, like it's insane how important this job meant to me. So then to basically find out that it was like any other corporation I've ever worked for was devastating. And maybe that was naive of me and very idealistic to think that Starbucks was different than a McDonald's or a Home Depot or like an Artisano or a Walmart or a Shoppers. Like any of these big corporations, I guess, was my bad. But I just don't think it's right that I just don't think it's right these corporations keep getting away with these things. Yeah. Again, pulling from my own experience, worked over the holidays, and it was awful. Like, and I'm not even going to talk about other people's experiences who I talked about, but as a collective, when I've gone to different places or talked to different people in different jobs, different scenarios, it's like the same thing. It's like you're understaffed, overworked, and then they wonder why you don't want to do your job, or they wonder why you're bringing these things to their attention. And then it's like, if you don't bring it to them in like a pretty package, in a nice bow, and like they lose their shit. They're like, okay, well, we don't like this about your tone, we don't like the way you handle it, you're aggressive, you're problematic, you're blah 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 blah. And I'm like, you weren't saying that when I was coming in early, when I was driving around the city buying supplies that we've run out of, when I've covered shifts last minute, when I've bent over backwards to do extra things that didn't need to be done that no one else was doing. None of these things were an issue then, right? But all of a sudden now, when I'm asking for better and for more, not just for myself, but for a team that I'm a part of, where I'm seeing other people being miserable and literally saying, the moment I get another job, I'm dipping. Yeah, right? Like, then apparently, like, I'm the bad guy. And it's just such a strange thing to me. Because it's like, they'll come to you and they'll say, oh yeah, you're amazing at your job. You're amazing at your job. You're amazing at what you do. You're amazing the way you connect with customers. Your work ethic is fantastic. You're passionate about what you do, but we need you to just not have an opinion. We need you to not say things because it hurts people's feelings. And I'm sorry, I guess. Actually, scratch that. I'm not sorry that people aren't doing their jobs properly, and I'm not sorry that I have to address it. That's just in my nature. And that's something that I realized yesterday after my panic attack, because I realized that I have always been problematic at some point or another in my life. If I think that something isn't being done correctly, if I've observed that things can be done better, and I'm not saying that my way, it's my way or the highway, but when I bring a suggestion to you and you basically shoot it down, or I know you're barefaced lying to me that you're going to do something about it, we have a problem. Because if what you're doing is affecting me to the point where I can't perform properly because I'm relying on you, we have a problem. And best believe, if I bring it to your attention, this is not the first time I brought it to your attention, not the second or the third or fourth. I'm a patient person, okay? I'm not expecting change overnight, but I am expecting to be taken seriously, because there's no way you're gonna come to me and be like, we want your feedback, we value your opinion, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, cool, sweet, place that respects me, cool. And then you're gonna turn around and be like, actually, we don't really care what you have to say. And if you could actually just keep your mouth shut, that would be fantastic. And I just can't do that. It's not in my nature. I'll call a spade. And it's not to say that I'm perfect or I think I'm above other people, but something has got to be done, man. I don't know. And I don't know if this is even going to do anything. This might actually get me fired from my job, to be totally honest. But then, I mean, it just goes to prove a point again that people can't handle hard truth. They can't accept that maybe things need to be addressed, and it's not going to come in the prettiest form. Like, that's just not how it is. Like, I love when people are like, oh yeah, I understand what you're saying, I know what you're going through, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, you don't. Sometimes you really don't, because if you haven't actually worked these shifts or actually sat and talked to these people that you claim to know, then you don't really know anything. And I'm sorry that offends you, but that's the truth. You see numbers, right? Saying that, oh yeah, you guys did 300 people in an hour. I know you're busy. Versus actually experiencing those 300 people with nobody on the floor, not able to run breaks, people crying, having breakdowns. Like, again, not just Starbucks. I feel like I have to keep reiterating that, because I don't want this to just seem like I'm attacking one corporation or attacking anyone in general. This is just an observation I've made over the years of me working. It's this vicious cycle, and people aren't allowed to voice their opinion, and if they do, it gets put on like the back burner. They're like, oh yeah, we'll deal with that. Oh yeah, like, we'll get to it. Like, nah, man, get to it now. Like, you have people who are literally willing to jump through hoops, and you're just letting them just go because we're all replaceable, right? You can just put out an ad and pick up anybody. And I've seen that, because I'm like, dude, you literally will have people who are carrying your store, and then there'll be other people who aren't doing anything. So, like, it's like there's a missing of accountability as well, which I never understand. I'm like, I'm not expecting you to like police everybody and like watch them like a hawk. But if you are a manager or supervisor, shouldn't you know the weaknesses and strengths, or opportunities, as they like to say, whatever, of all of your coworkers and like of your team, so that whatever it is that's not helping them progress or not helping them to do better, you're putting that extra work to get them there. And it's not like my 100 and your 100 are ever going to be the same, or my 100 on Monday is going to be the same as my 100 on Friday. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not expecting it to be perfect, right? But you should have a team where people are playing off of each other, right? So it's like, if they're not here, you have someone to kind of help them get there, or at least help them get to their best potential. And it's like, I don't even see that happening. I'm like, you literally have people who have no idea what they're doing, and rather than nurturing those good qualities in them and helping them get there, you're just like, whatever, they on the payroll, it's fine. Like, I have a body filling in for that spot that someone needs to be at, so we good. And I'm like, that's also not acceptable. You know what I mean? Like, I just, everything about working for these corporations never ceases to amaze me. There's never enough hours. There's never, literally never, and this is every company, it can be their busiest season. And I'm not talking about like brand new stores or brand new companies. I'm talking about companies that have been here from time. Okay? They know that maybe summer is their rush, or the holidays are their rush, or like February is their rush. Like, you know what I mean? They know. Okay? They know. You have a whole team that pulls numbers to figure these things out, right? Marketing, all that kind of stuff. I don't know, business things. And you're telling me that you can't find the hours to put in someone for an extra 3 hours or 4 hours at minimum wage. So like, that's not even $40 by the time you tax it. You're telling me you can't find $40 to put in somebody else to ease the stress off of all of the people who work for you. No, nowhere. In this billion-dollar company, nowhere. Or fix machines, or give us better equipment, or pay us more. Like, damn. Like, again, minimum wage, not maximum wage. There's just, again, a lack of empathy for the people who are the face of your company. And it's gotta stop. somebody has to do something about it. Someone has to improve the system around it so that people can flourish and grow. Because you know what? Some people, let me rephrase. There's always going to be a job for somebody to do, right? And I'm not saying that because you work at McDonald's, your skill level or your intellect or whatever is, like, I'm not saying like that's all you can ever be, but what I'm saying is some people are comfortable working at those places, you know, like a Tim Hortons or Shoppers Mart. Those jobs that no one really wants, or they're for high schoolers and people who are retired. Like, no, they're not, okay? They're for anybody who wants them. But the issue with those jobs is they never pay enough. They don't pay enough for people to actually live off of, right? I'm not talking about people who want to be like Chanel, Gucci, vacation every other week. I'm talking about people who just like literally want to have a house, maybe have a brand new car, pay their bills, I don't know, go on a vacation once a year, like regular schmegular people, right? And you're telling me that you're not even going to pay them enough to live the life that they deserve. Kills me. Absolutely kills me. Because, like I said, you have people who love what they do. Love it. And they can't stay. Or they pick up second jobs. I'm trying to remember if I've tackled everything I wanted to say, because I am at 22 minutes and this is just basically a rant. And I know I probably should have written something down, notes, points, everything that I wanted to say. But I just didn't think that'd be really authentic. And at one point I did pause the video because I was like, ugh, brain fart. But I don't know, something, it's like, who do I have to talk to? Like do I have to write a letter? Do I have to get like a child to write a letter? to be like, hey, like my mom works at blah blah blah, and like what do I have to do? Like, who do I have to talk to? Because the people I'm talking to right now don't care, or they appear like they don't care, and that's how it feels. And that's another thing that drives me nuts, is when they're like, no, we do, and I'm like, actions speak louder than words. If you're about it, be about it, okay? If you're not, then you're not. But let me know where you're standing. Don't give me the runaround. Like, I'm not an idiot, okay? Don't think I don't understand what's going on. You're no different than any other corporation I've worked for. But you keep telling me you are, right? And I'm supposed to believe that and just gobble it up and eat it out of my hand, like... So dumb. So dumb. Anyways, yeah, no accountability ever for the people who actually work at the store and for the companies that are supposed to take care of the people, because I was always taught that you're supposed to take care of your staff and they will in turn take care of you. And I've seen it. Even if it's for a brief moment, I've seen it, because usually when things start out, they're great. They're so good. And I'm like, we can maintain this. This is how we do it. And it's like, not in the budget. Can't be done. This. And I know sometimes it's out of control of like your immediate manager or whoever. I understand that. But if the person that you report to isn't taking you seriously, then you go above them. And you go above them, you go above them, you go above them, and you go above whoever you have to go above. And I think that's what should be done. But I also understand that this is also your job. right? I don't know. It's like their hands are also tied. It's like as I'm trying to figure out how this can be tackled from the inside out, it's like you can't win, right? Because it's like, am I about to risk everything, my job, my family, my career, my bills, my life, everything for 8 people that I know briefly and I probably won't keep in touch with after I move on and go elsewhere? I get that side of it too, but I don't know. I guess basically where I'm going to end this, because 25 minutes, nobody wants to see me talk anymore, is I just want someone to listen and actually consider that maybe things aren't as good as they seem. And maybe and maybe your expectations are too high. And maybe if those are the things that you want to attain, then you should do better by your staff. Ooh, just thought of something. Presentation of stores. This. Whew. Sorry, last thing. Tell me why we go out of our way to put stores back in the standards or have them grand day opening ready. As if a store that's been around for 6 months, 7 years, 10 years is going to look the same as it did the first day it opened. Like, that isn't physically possible. One, because your turnover rate is so high. So you don't really have anyone in your store who wants to maintain it. Most people don't care because they're here for a paycheck because you pay so little. And 3, when you come to these stores, do you really think that this is what they look like? Really? Like, anytime I've had people from head office or whatever come in to visit store, not once do they actually ask the people at the store how they're doing. And I don't just mean the, hi, how are you? I mean the, how is everything? How does the store run? What are the day-to-day activities? What is the operations like? What is it like to be here? They don't ask these questions because they don't care. That's not important to them. Does the store look the way it should? Are we hitting our numbers? That's all we are to them, is numbers. And that frustrates me because I'm like, we aren't numbers. We are real people who have real needs that really need to be addressed. Anyways, I don't know. But I just want these companies to do better. You have the potential to do better. And maybe I'm speaking from a place of ignorance because I've never been in those positions, right? I've never been one of those people who maybe calls the shots or makes these policies. But I have been in leadership roles on and off for 10 years. So I do know what it takes to inspire and make a team a team. I know I have that quality. And that's something that no one can tell me otherwise. So I understand that aspect of businesses. So maybe I don't understand the end game and end goal, the number side of things. So someone can maybe explain that to me. Maybe then I can piece this together. Maybe that's the part of the puzzle that I'm missing. But right now, as someone who, like I said, just is a little nobody at a store, just doing the best I can to get by, it's not good enough. It's not. And people deserve better. A lot of people do. I don't know, I guess this is like an open letter to corporations. Just please do better. There's so much opportunity for you to do better and to keep your good employees. Please just do better.